Hello and welcome to the next round of the Quickfire Founder 5 with me, Sam Olsen. And today we are here in Israel and I'm talking to the CMO of Optimove, Amit Bivas. Welcome along.
Thanks for having me.
So Optimove is Israel's perhaps number one marketing technology company, in some eyes anyway.
That's definitely a good way to define it. So Optimove is one of Israel's leading tech vendors. We're a customer marketing software helping brands maximize the value of their existing customers by fostering more relevant communications with them across multiple channels.
Got it. And you've been going since about 2009.
Yep, company started 2009.
But you're not the founder though, are you?
Nope.
But you're almost the founder. You're first wave in, so very much relevant to what we're about to talk about. So How did you get into tech in the first place?
So my story is quite unique in that sense. My professor is the founder and CEO of the company. So we started, flirting a bit in classroom, and then I find myself in boardroom. What happened was I just shot him an email at some opportunity that I had saying, how about we transition our professor-student relationships into employer-employee? And he took me.
Interesting. I'm sure lots of students will be watching this thinking, God, can I actually do that?
By all means, no fear.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go for it. But what's the origin story of the company as a whole? I mean, what's Optimove's origin fantasy? Someone might say.
So, like my origin was from the academia, the company's origin was also from the academia, and both of the founders of the company met at the Tel Aviv University. One of them, Pini, which is currently the CEO of the company, did his master's in operational research. And he partnered with Shachar, which is PhD in machine learning. They took a lot of know-how they had from academia and applied it to business. So they built a model to segment customers down to micro segments and predict their future behavior. And they took that and started reaching out to Israeli shops and stores, asking them for data and applying the model to that data. So that was the early days of the company. They started offering that application of that model to segment customers and provide analysis based on the output of that model.
Okay, so what were some of the challenges that you faced during this?
So the company started as a services company, and I think that from day one it was clear that scaling a services company is very tough, right? Because think about the ratio between employees and customers. With a software company, it's a different order of magnitude. So one of the main and first challenges was, okay, let's take this and grow it. And how do we grow it? So step by step, a company was built as a bootstrap. So we started as a services company, taking data, modeling it, crunching it, slicing and dicing it, and providing services and providing insights based on that data. And from income that we generated from those type of services, we invested in untying bottlenecks. So that's the bootstrap model. Every profit you have, you invest in growing the company. So we untie bottlenecks based on understanding where's the next threshold and invest into unblocking it. So when we started, we understood that we want to take the company to become a SaaS offering. So you provide services, you have a valid proposition, and then let's invest into building an R&D team. So all the profit was invested into hiring R&D, which was back then a one-man show, but still. We started growing, and around 2011, we launched the first version of the software, called back in the day CVM, Customer Value Maximizer. We continued investing into R&D, and around 2012, we pivoted and became Optimove, and then started a marketing challenge. There's an amazing software out there, but how do you generate awareness? And then we invested into unblocking growth, and so on and so forth.
So basically, to cut a long story short, you managed to build quite a large company, 100 people now?
Yeah.
By bootstrapping, and you moved from a services to a SaaS model, and you did all that with your own revenues.
That's right. So with a strategy of most of us, but Myself, the founders of the company are all industrial engineers, and the way that we looked at it and what industrial engineers are best at is streamlining processes. And when you streamline a process, the biggest challenge is finding those bottlenecks and untying them, unblocking them. And that's how we do the company. Finding the next bottleneck, investing the profit of what we make, of our income, into unblocking that. And then that unblocks growth.
That sounds like an awful lot of hard work over the years. So what is it that when you wake up in the morning sort of inspires you to keep going?
I think that being part of this thing and being part of this challenge is what keeps me waking up. I grew up with this company. Today we're 140 employees. We're a global company. We have offices in London and New York, here in Tel Aviv. And I think that every day withholds a new challenge. So waking up and trying to find the next bottleneck, trying to unblock that, trying to see how to further scale and grow the company, that for me is enough fuel for ages.
Okay, fine. Hopefully you're going to be able to build this into an amazing company, or you already have, but the sky's the limit, I'm sure. But if you were going to go back in time and start any other tech company, what would that be?
So I think that one of the big things with entrepreneurs is them wanting to change the world. So I think we are doing that with Optimove. We're changing how CRM is done. We're changing how people approach their customers and how they further engage them. So in that sense, if I would have the opportunity to go to another company, I'd probably take another one of those things that change how people think. And just a couple weeks ago, I came across the first presentation of how Uber founders pitched their investors. And Uber definitely changed the world.
Is that one of the first decks?
Yeah. The first deck that they used to pitch their investors. And they talk about, and you can't imagine the world today without Uber, right? Yeah. But back in the day, they're talking about how people don't necessarily need to use taxis. There is an alternative. And today, Uber changed how people commute. So I think that being part of that type of business is a huge thing because they're able to change the way people think or people work or people operate. So that for me would be something that I do if I wouldn't have been at Optimove.
And to be fair, if you'd started Uber, then you might be in the same situation as Travis is now, so you're probably best out of that. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you very much, Amit Bivas from Optimove.com.
Yep.
That's it for this edition. See you at the next one.